Hey boardies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon. Today we're doing our setup play and review for the game Refuge. This is a game for 2 to 4 players, takes 30 minutes to play. It's by Bombyx and ages 8+. We are bag building, we are going on 5 different walks, so these representing by taking out a sheep token, and we're watching out for the weather, which consists of sometimes sunny weather and sometimes stormy weather. There are 8 tiles, so I'm going to shuffle these up. And basically a storm will hit when it hits based on the number of players, so we're just going to set this up as a 2-player initially. Everybody is, like in any deck builder, going to have the same bag with stuff in it. So I'm playing as red, but you could play as yellow, blue, or green. Everybody's going to take their start player marker and place on 0, so that's how many points you're going to start off with. You want to have a location that you're going to put all these boots tokens in, they represent currency, and you also have point tokens over here. We lastly have things that we can buy. A little house, which we're going to place in our bag. I'll say how that works in a second, and everybody at the same time, simultaneously, is going to draw 2 tiles. So I can draw myself a storm tile in this case, and I've drawn myself this tile here. This must always get placed out. This gets placed out here, and this tile is going to go in front of me. And this tile here gives me 2 points, represented by hearts, and it's going to give me an animal paw print token. Now, an animal paw print token is basically going to give me 1 point because I'll be seeing an animal on my walk back to my refuge, which I accidentally put back in my bag. So everyone's going to have their refuge token out too. Then everyone else is going to take their turn. So let's just say the other player happened to have something like a storm token, which have had their symbol on there too. So just kind of rush this a little bit. And then we're going to reveal the top tile, and it happens to also be a storm token. This is quite a good way of explaining it then. And then what we can do is we can go again. So anything that you did have spare, you're going to place back in your bag, and you're going to then reveal and try and bring out other tokens again. So let's just keep on playing until we hit a storm, and I'll show you how that works. So we draw 2 more tiles. We've got this one and this one. So this will give me 1 currency. This gives me 3 points or 3 currency. At this point, I think 3 currency makes sense than 1 currency. So I'll take those and I flip it over. Now, we then reveal the storm again, or the weather. It's another storm tile. You saw me shuffle them. And let's just say the opponent happened to have, there's 2 of these storm tiles in the bag. This is the point whereby you might want to go back on your next turn. I'll show you why in a second. So I have got myself 3 currency. I can buy something, 3 boots. So with 3 boots, I can get myself a 4 boot token, which will go into my bag, which means if I draw it out, I'm now getting 4 boots instead. I have other tokens over here, so I haven't got enough to buy it yet. But this one is you spend 4 boots, you're going to have this in your bag for the next, obviously, 4 rounds or 5 rounds, including this one. And it means you're going to get 4 points if you can get home because of the storm. So let's just say I spend 3 and I buy this token and I chuck it in. Oh, do you know what? Let's place this one instead. I'll buy this one and I'm going to place it into my bag. And I spent those 2 tokens, not the spare one. So now it's back to, obviously, everyone's going to take their turn. And either, again, in a 2-player game, we are thinking that I've now got still 1 of my storm tokens left. This could be a storm. Again, there is only 4 that are bad and the rest are good. Just remember that 2 of these came from somebody else's bag. And now I need to think whether or not I want to go home. So everyone at the same time, again, the opponent's going to do this too, is go 1, 2, 3 and reveal. So in this case, you're saying you don't want to go any further. And what's going to happen is you're going to place out your house on here, and now you're going to go on a walk. So I'm going to get myself 1 point because I went on a walk and I saw 1 animal. However, if I happened to not do this, say I happen to draw 2 tiles, and oh, look, I happen to draw a storm token, it's going to go out. And then suddenly we're going to have this storm happening. And what's going to happen is, as you'll see, I need to get home. I've got to run home. I will not score any animals because I have to rush home and I scare them off. I do have to pay a boot for every tile that I land on. So any other tile excluding from the home tile, I've got to pay a boot. If I do not have a boot, I will lose myself 1 point, which obviously in the first round you will still be losing typically because you've done something. And that's something to be aware of. And let's just talk about what happens at the end of the round. So at the end of the round, what's going to happen is you can discard 1 tile that you don't have to, it's a may have. You may discard 1 tile in front of you that you can permanently lose from the game. So in this case, these are quite nice tiles. And if I've drawn this one, I can discard it permanently. It's basically kind of a catch-up mechanism. So where you've been drawing bad tiles, and this means you can kind of thin your deck and get better stuff out instead. That's how it's going to go on. So then you're going to go on to round 2. You're going to clear these tiles. These are going to go back into my bag. Again, these 2 would have gone back into this deck. And just remember, again, it would have had a different symbol showing it's somebody else's player color. So in terms of the push your luck, what you're thinking is sometimes you're going to suddenly want to go home, but sometimes everyone else is going to go home. And it means that no one else is drawing tiles apart from you. And if you've already drawn out your 2 storm tiles and there's only, I don't know, maybe there's none of these, obviously, storm tiles left, then you're in a good position to hopefully do well and trying to catch up. Remember, these all get shuffled again, and they're going to go over a total of 5 times, and that's the game. And whoever got the most points is going to be the winner. There are some ties as well, but so far I haven't seen a tie in favour of the winner. But yeah, if you have any questions, always do let me know in the comments best on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. This game is very similar to Quacks of Quedlinburg. It's shorter, so it's a nice, light, faster version of it. However, I think some people generally find that they prefer Quacks, just a bit more of an experience. There's some variety obviously going on. These are just some of the different types of tiles you can get out. So you can get 3 points per sun, you can get points per sun as well. And I've had this tile. I've not actually chosen to push and try and go for the strategy where I'm getting 12 boots to get myself 6 points if that tile happens to come up. Again, ditching a tile per turn on that 5th round, maybe that one could come up and it could be quite useful. As always, if you check out the comments as well on YouTube or even the description, you can follow along on the podcast, Instagram, TikTok, X, Threads, etc. And if you find any other questions, do let me know as well. Enjoy the game. This has been Refuge, very nice to look at. Check out my Spiel Essen playlist. This was actually, I think I have a pre-release that was available there as well. Thanks for watching. See you soon. For now, back to the table.